Hi everybody, it's Nexus. This is a very special edition of Making Culture. For those of you who know me personally, you know that I am a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. I have been watching since the first season. I went on the first Drag Race cruise, which was during season 4, during Sharon Needles' win. And I have been to a couple of different drag cons. I'm a huge fan, and I listen to a lot of drag queen content as well in podcast form, especially the Forever Dog podcast network. So I listen to Race Chaser, and I listen to Sloppy Seconds, and I also listen to the new show with Raja and Delta, Very That, and they're all fabulous. So you can see I am truly a friend of the pod. And, last week, Big Dipper and Meatball tried to make pickles and had some issues. And Alaska and Willem were mystified about this entire pickle thing, and were intrigued and excited. And I thought to myself, these queens have given me so much over the years, so much advice, so much entertainment. Big Dipper works so hard producing all of these amazing shows. Dipper, I see you. So I figured, look, I don't have a lot of money. I can't give you no coins. And I'm on unemployment and a single mom and disabled currently. So the coins are an issue, but I do have knowledge and I know how to make pickles. So I figured I'd give y'all a little pickle lesson if you wanted. Now, I'm not going to do bread and butter pickles because Big Dipper's at home right now with his mom learning how to can and make pickles. And bread and butter pickles are that classic in vinegar style pickle where you actually seal it into the your canning jars, and it's a preserved pickle that you can open up in the winter time or any time of year, and it'll be good on your shelves for a couple of years if you don't want to open it, and then you eat it, put it in the fridge afterwards. And then we have what are called lacto-fermented pickles, which is the kind of pickle I'm going to teach the queens to make today. If they want to learn, and if not, maybe someone else will be interested in learning how to make lacto-fermented pickles. Lacto-fermented pickles are the classic Jewish American pickle, your dill pickle, your half sour, your full sour. I love a kosher dill. It's pretty much the only time I actually like dill. And it's one of the only times I like mustard seed. And right now I don't have any dill and I don't have any mustard seed in my house. Those are the traditional flavorings. So we're going to do a slightly untraditional, traditional Jewish pickle. This is perfect for me to do it as I am a Black Irish Native American Jew. Therefore, I am an untraditional Jew making an untraditional Jewish pickle. So, what are you going to need to make pickles? You're going to need some peppercorns. You can use black, white. You can use red chili peppers if you like it spicy. It's up to you. Ordinarily, you'd need some either brown mustard seed or yellow mustard seed. You can usually buy this in the spice section at your grocery store. Highly recommend you hit the Latin section and see if maybe they have it there. They don't always. I'm out of mustard seed, so I am going to use Indian coriander. It's just a personal choice. If you have dill, you can put dill in as well. I don't have any dill, and I don't particularly like it. But you definitely want to get either a couple of garlic cloves. I'm going to be using some chopped garlic, pre-chopped garlic, and I'm also going to be putting in a lovely shallot. I really like the flavor of these. So you're gonna need those items, and you're also going to need cucumbers. Now, Willem, I know what you're thinking. This is not a cucumber. Well, it is a cucumber. It's just not a cucumber for certain activities. This is for pickling. And for pickling, you want a smaller cucumber, okay? So we're gonna get those cute little cucumbers, okay? You're gonna need a little pack of those, and you're going to also need some kosher salt. You can also use ionized salt. Everything we're gonna do is by weight. So you're also going to need a scale. And I promise you, it's a little bit of math, but it's gonna be the easy kind of math because we're gonna do everything in grams, okay? And grams are really, really easy, and liters are really much easier than what we grew up with. So I got you, it's gonna be easy. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do is we're gonna put some stuff in our clean jar. Okay, so I have a nice clean jar. You can use a deli container if you want. I happen to have a lot of mason jars, so I'm gonna use a mason jar. You could use an old mayonnaise jar that you cleaned out. It doesn't have to be specialized, okay? But I have this nice quart-sized mason jar. So I'm gonna put in about a teaspoon of my coriander. I'm not even measuring it, okay? And another teaspoon of my green peppercorns. I like green peppercorns. Okay. Get a nice fat teaspoon of my minced garlic here. Pre-minced. I just happen to be out. I bought this big beautiful thing, so I haven't been buying bulbs of garlic as I'm trying to work my way through this. Okay, nice. Just gonna, this is a cute little shallot. I love shallots. You could use an onion, anything in that family, okay? So a red onion, a Spanish onion, any of those things are gonna be delicious. Yellow onion, they're all gonna be delicious. They're just gonna have slightly different flavors and slightly different textures. And, you know, when you get the hang of this, you're gonna start swapping things in and out because it's super fun. You can throw ginger in there, right? You can throw jalapenos in there. You could put, you could do this with green beans instead of cucumbers. Right? This is just the beginning. It is a great way to sort of dip your toes in to the entire pickling thing. So I'm just gonna cut this into quarters. Not really gonna be fancy about it, you see. I just cut it into quarters and I'm just throwing them in there. You can see this is very high tech, okay? Very high tech. All right, next up, we need to make sure that our cucumbers, we don't want any blemishes. Nobody wants a blemish, right? Because this is the thing, we're gonna preserve it. So we're gonna be introducing our own, we're gonna be making an environment that invites lactobacilli, this the same kind of these various kinds of sympathetic and friendly bacteria that will ferment our thing, and it grows on our skin. So we're just going to use our clean washed hands. But I'm going to, these have a little bit of a soft end. You want a firm end on your cucumber. Now, this is just sort of a thing. If you have really beautiful unblemished cucumbers, you can do them whole, okay? Just know that they'll take a little longer to ferment. You might want to put pricks over their skin to get it through. Now, I like to do I'm gonna do them into spears, I think. So here are my spears. See how that looks? And I'm literally going to put them in here standing up. there was some extra cucumber. Okay, so as you can see, I have packed in these cucumbers, okay? They're nice, they're standing up, they're packed together, okay? They're mostly all standing. There's a couple that maybe are laying down there. They're mostly all standing. They're more or less the same size. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Now, I really want to remind you that you're gonna be able to do this because you're brilliant. And people have been doing this for thousands of years. So there is no reason why you can't make a pickle. If you can paint your face, you can make a pickle, okay? Painting your face is so much harder than pickling, for real. Okay, so you can see here I have 1,000 milliliters of H2O. So when you're pickling, you want your pickle brine to be between certain levels of salt, okay? You want it to be between 4% salt and 10% salt. So you're gonna wanna put in a certain amount of salt, a certain number of grams per milliliter to achieve that. So here's a little bit of things. So we have 1,000 milliliters of water here. And we know that we want this to be between 4% salt and 10% salt. Now 10% salt is gonna be a super salty pickle, and a 4% salt pickle is gonna be a less salty pickle. So if we want 1,000 milliliters of water to be 10% salt, we would add 100 grams of salt, okay? Now, if you want it to be 4% salt, because maybe you're making pickles for your friend and they have a heart condition, you would do 40 grams of salt in your 1,000 milliliters, right? %4 is 40 out of 1,000, okay? Now I like mine to be 5%. That's my personal favorite. It is where I like my salinity. 4% doesn't taste salty enough. I don't like it too salty, so I like it at 5%. So I am going to put in 50 grams of salt. 50 grams, 5% of 1,000. Your smartphone has a calculator and you can figure that, okay? So I have a little scale here and I'm literally just gonna weigh out 50 grams of salt. 50 grams of salt is about a tablespoon, actually. I happen to know that because I bake and cook a lot, but I'm still gonna weigh it out. So 33, 47, oh, it's a couple tablespoons actually, especially in kosher salt. Now kosher salt makes a brine that's a little bit cloudy. Some people don't like that. I'm Jewish. I like kosher salt, all right? Now I'm just gonna add it to my water to make the brine. Now you'll notice, I am not being really hyperactive about sanitizing things. I washed my hands. I did a full 20-second wash, full Courtney singing happy birthday twice wash, okay? But my hands are now, I still have good bacteria on my skin because we humans, we're an amalgamation of different kinds of organisms. So I still have that good bacteria on my skin. My kitchen is full of that good bacteria, and guess what? So is yours. So I'm just gonna stir this until my salt is more or less dissolved. Okay, my salt's all dissolved. It took about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, not a big deal. As you remember, I was pressing this all in with my hands. They're covered in my good bacteria now. Now we're gonna add the brine. Okay. I did a good job packing this. You see how none of the stuff is floating up? We're just making sure there's no air bubbles, okay? I'm just using my bare, clean hands to sort of press these down again, make sure that everything's good, copacetic. Now, it's full of brine. We've got the spices down at the bottom. We've got our beautiful veggies in there. I'm gonna put in a touch more. Actually, I'm not, because we now have to top it off. Now, if you were to have done slices, or maybe sometimes it wasn't perfectly packed and some of the veggies are floating up, it is good to use what they call a pickle weight. I get pickle weights and fermenting mason jar tops from a company called Nourished Essentials online. This is not, they don't sponsor me or anything. I literally paid my own money for this stuff. But I make a lot of pickles, so it's totally worth my while. If you don't have that stuff, it's still really easy to do this. If you need a weight, if you didn't pack it down hard enough that everything is staying down, you can fill a bag, a little bag with some of your excess brine, and you can put it right on top to hold your pickles down. But I have a pickle weight, so I'm gonna use my proper pickle weight. Okay, so there's my pickle weight. You can see what it's doing is it's just sort of sitting on top of the pickles, holding it down. If I didn't have a fermenting cap, what I would do is I would take either the, the ring style and cap and put that on loosely. You can take a plastic cap and put that on loosely. So I'm going to use my fermenting top. What this does is it literally lets air out without letting air in. But the idea is you want all the vegetable matter submerged, because this is what they call an anaerobic process, a process without air. So it's okay if there's air touching the surface of the water, but the vegetable matter needs to really be submerged. That's why it's kind of okay to do it with this, but it's really best to do it with something like this, or a cap where, the air can like sort of fart out. If you use something like this, you'll maybe want to go in and open it every day and let it sort of burp while you ferment it. So this company, like I said, they're pretty cool. Today is the 8th. And they actually have a little date thing on here. So I'm going to put it on the 8th for the day that I made my pickles. Now, right now, they just take like pickles and salt water. Over the next couple of days, the lactobacilli will begin to build up in here, okay? And you will actually see little tiny bubbles rising in there. Taste it after a day or two. If it's sour, if you like a half sour pickle and it tastes nice to you, that's when you pop it in the fridge. If you like a more sour pickle, let it keep fermenting. The longer it's out at room temperature, the more sour and soft these pickles are gonna get, okay? So it becomes a question of what do you like? Some people like a crisp half sour, some people like a really strong sour. I like mine usually after about 3 to 4 days, which is also when I like my sauerkraut, whereas one of my sweeties really loves his sauerkraut super sour and super fermented. And when I gave him some of my sauerkraut, like I gave it to him at a week in and he let it sit out for another week so that it could get more funky. So it's really a matter of preference, okay? If it gets too funky, you throw it away. You'll know, okay? You'll know. The water's gonna stay sort of this cloudy clear. You can see here, I'm kind of giving it a little shake, get those beautiful spices all mixed into my brine. And this will just sit Like I said, in a day or two, when it's at the sourness you like, put it in the fridge. This won't stop it from fermenting, but it'll slow fermentation down, and you'll be able to enjoy them at the place where you like them for a little bit longer. They will eventually continue to they'll keep fermenting, just at a much, much slower pace. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to again just say thank you for so many incredible years of sharing your artistry with the world. My son and I, we love watching your show. He's 11 now. He's literally been watching since I started watching when I was breastfeeding him and I was home. That is how I started watching Drag Race. So thank you so much for so many years of laughter and pleasure. Big shout out to everybody at Forever Dog Podcasts. I love your content, Big Dipper. Keep up the good work. And I can't wait to hear how your bread and butter pickles go with your mom. I know that you're gonna learn and do a great job, because I can tell. And Meatball, Latrice, Manila, Willem, I hope y'all enjoy these pickles. I love you all so much. Stay safe. And thank you. Keep up your amazing, amazing work.